Joining us now is the Norges Bank Governor, Oystein Olsen. He joins us now from Oslo. Governor, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Bloomberg.
Good morning.
Many other global central banks are talking about easing. You are hiking. Does that worry you?
The short answer is no. Of course, we are, as a small open economy, Norway is affected by everything happening internationally. We follow closely the interest setting and the expectations going forward in that respect. But then, the background for the increases in the gradual increases in the policy rate we have made is that growth in our economy is robust. Unemployment is low. And inflation, in our case, is above the target. And we see more or less the same positive, robust growth picture in the Norwegian economy going forward. And that's the background for that we go through a period with a gradual, cautious sequence of policy rate increases. But I could just add that monetary policy in our case is still expansionary. The policy rate is still quite much lower than the neutral rate, normal rate. So we are still stimulating the economy, and of course our policy rate and interest rate levels in general are definitely affected by what's happening internationally.
OK, so you are being affected by the international picture, but nevertheless you have domestic idiosyncratic stories that you need to focus on. You talk about the interest rate hikes being cautious and gradual. Why cautious and gradual? Why not deliver bigger rate hikes? You've hinted today and surprised the market that there is more still to come. Why not be more bold? Why not deliver 50 basis point hikes at this point?
Well, that's a question in the opposite direction, and I understand it, but the answer is that we're starting out from a very low level. We have had low interest rates also in Norway for quite some time. There are uncertainties. What about the effects of increases in the interest rates on household debt? And household debts levels are at a quite high level. And then again, we are affected by what's happening internationally, and we focus and stress that there's this kind of downside risk in our assessments of international developments, which also are a good reason for being cautious going forward.
OK, the market base case had originally been that the hike after this one would come in December. That's now being brought forward to September. Does that seem about right to you?
Yeah. Yeah, when we present forecasts going forward, it's never a promise. It's as we see it now, given the new information which we have, and the new information which has moved the policy rate path slightly higher, and move the most likely month for a next increase from December to September is a weaker krone, much stronger growth in the petroleum sector than we assessed in March, and generally robust growth in domestic demand and production.
Governor, you are living in tumultuous times. We heard from Mr. Draghi a few days ago, obviously Chairman Powell yesterday as well. They have their own battles to fight. You're being buffeted around by these major central bankers. Are they helping you or hindering you as you defend the Norwegian currency?
We're not bumped around. That's not how we see it, or at least doesn't express it in that way. But again, we are following what's happening in the major economies very closely. Also, of course, because what's happening there and what they are signalizing will affect us and will affect the economy. But I do agree that we are in a better situation. It's a smaller economy. We have this engine still in the petroleum sector, which provides a boost to growth and overall demand in the next couple of years. And that's very, in brief terms, the background for the fact that we can move in this direction in monetary policy as one of the few now internationally.
Well, Norway's in a very, very unique position. We all know that as well. We've seen the challenges of the Swiss National Bank, a different story, a different theme as well. Where would you like your nation to be in terms of financial system in 5 years? What is the Olsen plan 5 years out to give stability to Norway?
That's a challenge in questions which I really cannot answer explicitly, but let me just answer it in a slightly different way. We are having a forecast now until 2022, and it looks fine, given that there is no escalation of the uncertainties and problems internationally. But when we look further ahead for the Norwegian economy, there is a challenge for us in the sense that we have behind us this long period with strong stimulus from our petroleum sector. Most likely, this is going to be much more modest going forward, and so we are going to be more like many other economies without this huge engine in the petroleum industry.
Nevertheless, Governor, that engine is still there and it is still working right now. If you were to see the dollar coming down, and I'm just kind of wondering how that filters into your thinking, the dollar comes down, oil prices go up. How would you deal with an elevated oil price at this point? We're trading kind of $60 a barrel now. If that number was to push higher, we've got tension in the Gulf as well. Would that mean that you would expect to do more?
The oil price, both the oil price and the currency, where the dollar is one important international currency, although not that important in our import basket, but still everything which is happening in the oil market, including the oil price and also in the currency market, will affect the judgments that we undertake looking forward for the next rounds of policy decisions.